Hello and welcome to the Master's Voice. I'm Celestial and you're welcome to the channel. To all new subscribers, I'd like to welcome you. Thanks for joining us. And to old subscribers as well, thank you for sticking with me. Today I have a post. It was a dream. I received it on October the 8th, 2020, and the title is A Home Invasion Dream. So just take a moment and check the description box below. That way you can find out, just get a synopsis of what the video will be about. If the picture is not clear, check the three dots menu at the top or look along the bottom until you see the cog icon. Click the word quality and then adjust it to 720p or 1080p so that you have a clear picture to work with. So I'm continue with the America series. The America series is by far the bulk of the prophetic words that I have on my blog, The Master's Voice. The URL is below. And on that blog, I post and I share the prophetic words that I received from the Lord ever since 2012 up to now. I think we're in December 2020 now, so I'm still getting prophetic words from the Lord. And by far the bulk of the prophecies have to do with the nation of America. So as we're looking at the America series, we're going to be looking at different types of prophecies. I shared in a previous video that some of those videos are going to be looking at America as she is now, at the things that God says ails this country. The primary thing that God always says is the ailment of all the nations, actually, not only the United States, is sin. Sin is the ailment. Sin is the common problem. Sin is the reason that we see the manifestations of so much hurt, decay, putrefaction, and so many other things that are kind of spilling out of the nations. So we're in a season, we're in a stage where we're starting to see, as it is, the grimy underbelly of the nations. We're starting to see what really goes on behind the scenes in countries. And for purposes of this blog, the Master's Voice, my job, Celestial, is to bring forth what God is saying almost on a daily basis about the nation of America. So this was a short dream that I had just a few months ago, early October, and this dream is looking at a militarized America. Now, it doesn't surprise anyone to talk about militarization in America. This is a nation that is famous for her army, her Marines, her Air Force, her Navy, her special forces. Even here at home, you have SWAT and whatever other types of military forces. I have to say, I'm not all that savvy about what they are. I kind of know what the main ones are, but I don't really know what they're all called. So anyway, militarization in America is nothing new. We know about the history of wars, old wars, like the major world wars, and of course the much more recent wars that have taken place, I would say, over the last 20 years, since Desert Storm anyway, up to the present day. But what the prophecies that the Lord brings forth now talk about is militarization within America against American citizens. And we know that there's a well thought out and a well planned system of checks and balances here in the United States that are supposed to guard against any type of abuse of military power. The Army or the Navy or none of these military forces are supposed to be used against citizens, even if there's a state of emergency declared. These things are not intended by the founding fathers to be used against the citizens of this nation in a way that actually goes against the spirit of the Constitution, the spirit of the laws that have been enacted, or used in a way that breaks down the society and brings out elements of control, monitoring, spying, or any of these things. So the American military forces, whether they're active, whether they're deployed outside or here at home, whether they're active members of the forces here at home or they're retired, These people are not supposed to participate in any kind of group activity that will hurt citizens. But consistently, God says and shows me things to the contrary. And so if I can just be blunt, I'm saying here on the blog and I'm saying here on camera that there will come a time where U.S. military forces are used against the citizens of the United States in damaging ways, in ways that will eventually result in complete control, terror, intimidation, and in a lot of circumstances, unlawful incarceration and death. So let's go to the prophecy. It's a dream, and it contained, I guess, prophetic elements and the word of God. So I dreamt that I was living in this apartment building, and I was living on the upper floors. I would say I was living on the 6th or the 7th floor. And in real life, I do live in an apartment building, but I live on the ground floor. So I was living on the 6th or the 7th floor, and these were smaller units. So they weren't really like these big luxury apartments. It was just your everyday, ordinary apartment where I, as a single person, I was living in my unit, but for some reason in this dream, I could see into the units of other people. So I saw that they were family units, mom, dad, one child or two, and there were couples with no kids, and there were people, roommates, like 2 or 3 roommates living in these units. And then in the dream, when I saw this, my neighbors and I were in a very tensed up state. So everybody was really tense, and everybody was standing next to their door, and everybody was holding something. So some people were holding a rolling pin, and some people were holding a baseball bat. And I didn't see anybody actually holding a gun, not that I can remember. But I did see that people had tried to get something to protect themselves, and everybody was up against their door. So they were standing right next to the door. And I saw that in homes where there are husbands or fathers or men, where there were male roommates, I saw that the men stood against the door first, and then whoever was a stronger woman, and then the children were shushed and they were told to keep back, you know? So I was alone in my house, and I wasn't holding anything, but I was right up against my door, and I was listening for something. And I guess because it's a dream, I could see right through the wall, through my wall, through all the units on my floor. And I saw that everybody was braced against the door and seemed to be waiting for something. So I didn't know what we were waiting for, but I know that in the dream, the tension was so thick and so heavy, and I was so nervous. And I also had this feeling like the first person, whoever on our floor or whoever in the building, because people were doing this all through the building, whoever in the building was gonna crack, right, was gonna give in to their, I guess, their curiosity and open the door, that person was gonna get it. Now, I don't know what they were gonna get, but I just felt that they were going to get in trouble. But I didn't know why I felt that way or what exactly this trouble would be. So eventually in the dream, the person that it got too much for was me. So the tension and waiting in silence, it got too much for me, and I just needed to know what was going on. And so I opened my door just a tiny crack. But as I was doing this, I saw that several other people on my floor was doing the same thing at the same time. And the reason was people wanted to know what exactly they were bracing for. However, the minute I opened my door, there was a soldier in full combat gear, and his uniform was light green, gray, and brown splotches. So the overall look was a lightish green, right? But then there were gray and brown splotches on it, and he had a huge gun, and he was wearing a helmet. He just came from around the corner and goes, "We've waited long enough. Come out, or we're coming in. Come out right now." So, you know, in this scary soldier voice, you know, this man just came running around the corner, it said, and he was clearly talking to other people who were with him, and he was talking to us in the apartments. And he said, "Come out or we're coming in. Come out right now." And I was so regretful that I had opened my door, and of course I tried to shut my door, but this man caught the door with his shoulder, so he just came at it like with his full strength, and there was just no way that me was going to be able to push that door shut against that man. Of course, I tried, but it was pointless. And so he pushed my door open while holding his gun pointed up. And he put his face right in the crack and he said, "Come out right now or you'll get in trouble. Now, come out right now." And that was enough for me. I let go of the door. The man pushed the door open, so he kicked it open and it flew open against the door. And then he stepped back to see if I would come out willingly. And so I folded my arms across my chest, like this. And I walked out into the hallway. And as I stood, it was almost just like you see people in the movies anyway, when they come to get people out of lockup, prison, it's morning and they're doing prison inspections and they make them all come out. So I came out and then I looked down my row and I could see different scenes. So some people just came out. They were just like me. They were just like, I am not going to lose any body parts in a pointless struggle with this person who's been working out probably since he was 8 years old. I'm just coming out. But there were other people who were fighting and they were struggling, and so they were being dragged out, by the, they were on the ground and they were being dragged out by under the arms, like being pulled out by the soldiers. And some people were being dragged out by one arm and they were being handled very roughly. And the colors of the uniforms that I saw were green, dark green, and patterns, right? But I also saw some sandy uniforms. So some uniforms looked light green with gray and brown splatches, and then some were darker green with green and gray patches and patterns, and then some looked sandy. They looked like the uniforms of people who go to fight wars in the desert, actually. So the colors on those sandy uniforms were tan, light brown, and brown speckles on the uniform. So I'm not familiar with this, and I actually wrote on the blog that if anybody is more familiar with what different types of security forces wear these descriptions, you can go to the blog and look at the pictures. I tried to find pictures that were close to what I saw. Then you can just drop it in the comment section below or on the blog. That would be very helpful for me because I'm always trying to learn more about the things that God shows me. And so I saw that some people came out quietly and some people were fighting, and some people's doors were getting kicked in. Some people's doors were getting just kicked in at the lock, and I guess the locks are not strong enough for a kick because the door would just fly in. So I said that we really need to be praying hard for the future days that are coming, because this is not the only prophecy that I have received from the Lord on a militarized America, where the militarization is not aimed at any enemy outside, but it's actually aimed at the citizens inside to intimidate and control them. And so I said that there is a reason that God continues to show us these images, and we are seeing very obvious strong arm military tactics that are being displayed today, like what happened in Portland and in quite a few other cities. We've seen this year the military has come out full force with all the gear, and I've shared prophecies on this blog before saying that I've seen these men looking so swatted up, all in black and running like, they run like in perfect formation, like they've been practicing these moves forever. And so I said that there's really no need to bring the soldiers out looking so strong for the population to see them. But God has revealed that there is a reason, right? That the government is showing us the army and even showing us the police in such an intimidating fashion, because one day this will be how it is. So that's pretty much it. There are 2 other prophecies on the blog that you can look at. One is already up. It's already a video, so you can check it out. It's called Home Invasions Imminent. It was one of the first videos that I made. And the second one is called In Quick Succession, America in Turmoil, Part 2. So I'll try to make another video today. If you have any further information about this, what you think it might be, please leave it in the comment section. Please respect the comment section. And for now, I am Celestial. Thank you for being with me. And until I see you again, take care. Bye.